distinct pleasure and honor to have a chance to introduce you to one of the legislature's strongest champions, Representative Gail Chasey.
Well, this is a surprise that I get to introduce my favorite person in Canada for governor, Lujan Grisham. It is such an honor to be asked to do this. I have a 95-year-old mother who's living at my house now, and she's really annoyed that she's not here because she worked on Michelle's campaign when you ran for county commissioner. So you have to tell me when a good time is to bring my mother. I said it's going to be a bunch of people standing around and you're going to be nowhere to sit. That's exactly right. So we're 50 days out from the primary. It can't come quick enough in my view. And thank you all for what you've done, and I think Michelle wants to do this part. So I just am going to give you Michelle Lujan Grisham, who is just an indomitable spirit.
The representative is worried that I might fall over, but I've spent my whole life standing on one thing or another. So I'm good. And I really want to say thank you to Representative Chasey. I want to call her Gail because many of you may not know, Gail was the kind of legislator that I went to when I had a problem. When there was an issue that was really challenging or tough. And one of those issues was figuring out what to do about long-term care and boarding care homes and getting them licensed and having training. And whenever you're doing a regulatory effort that's really aimed at protecting people and improving their quality of life, it can be a very difficult effort. It just is. And Gail was fearless, productive, smart, and the thing that won the day is that she was compassionate. It's the kind of effort that I want to embody in this race for governor. So before I tell you about that, I hope that I don't have to, because I don't think you would be here, is I know that these snacks are limited, because campaigns were terribly cheap. But I would not be here in any context. County commission, frankly, I would never have been appointed to state government when Bruce King was governor if folks who believed in me then, Karen Myers as an example, and didn't help me way back when in the 90s, right? It's a community. People, we start to trust and believe in each other and we build each other up. I never would have had these opportunities without incredible men and women, incredible New Mexicans. And I would not be leading in the polls. Without you. Because the reality is, no campaign can create a movement unless the people that you surround yourself with are willing to dedicate themselves to that movement. And when I go out for any endorsement, and we've been really lucky, we've picked up the majority, I think we've gotten every single endorsement that's available right now. Yay. Which is the first thing they do. Here's what they ask. What are your volunteers like? What do they do? Who do they represent? Where are they from? Why are they engaged? And when we talk about that, many of you have been with us since, I call you the originals, since 2007, that makes a difference. And then the last two things I want to talk about, because you guys have been amazing. So when I announced a year ago, it was right really after that national election that had many of us feeling like there was just no way to get out of bed the next morning. I know that listen, I came to election night in a pantsuit. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't wear pants. And a lot of people who wear pants, I don't need to do it. I was in my pantsuit, I was ready. We were all ready. We thought about what was going to happen. We felt very confident about that. It didn't happen. And it didn't happen for a lot of reasons. And one of those is that people just didn't believe in the message or the ideals or the effort. And it was a very important lesson. And I don't want to just listen to the polls. And I don't want to, even though when I go out, the Mexicans are not demoralized and sad and angry anymore. And they were. They're feeling like we're seeing investments in our future that make sense. And every New Mexican I talk to, including you, is ready to be part of that. Because I don't care how good you are at any job. You cannot do it alone. And in a state that needs to rebuild and reinvent itself, it has to happen because and with you. Otherwise, no legislator, no governor, no county commissioner, no teacher, no educator, no laborer, no one can do it unless we're all doing it together. So you're making that pitch and you're making that case, and I'm seeing it take hold all across the state. It's a totally different environment. So you might say, well then why did you shove us into a hot room with just cookies if everything is perfect? You could have just sent me a note. Because this is when it gets hard. It really does. And I have a couple of weaknesses that I want to share with you. One, I'm already getting people who say, you have to quit Congress. I can't quit Congress. No. Have you seen the guy in the White House? I don't know if you know this or not, but I don't trust him. That means I'm not on the ground, so I need every surrogate. I need twice as many volunteers because people feel that. And to their credit, my opponents are on the ground. They are, and they should. But when I'm not there, or when there's out something in social media, that I won't go to forums because I'm in Washington, D.C. If they want to fly out there and have a debate, bring it on. Yeah, all right, bring it on. But I need you. So that's a weakness. So let's just identify it. I called it out. It's a weakness, so let's deal with it. Two, because I'm not here, it's very easy for people to say things that are not true. All right? And I can't go any lower. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I just can't do it. We're going to go, I love Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. But that means that your voice then, in addition to the day-to-day, calling, walking, sharing our literature, giving us ideas, talking to your coworkers, talking to your patients, talking to your clients, you have to help create this kind of a movement and use your phone. You have to counterdict all this stuff. There isn't a single thing that people are saying, because attacking a person's character works. Isn't that sad? Yeah. And little things, like how many of you know how many times I was married? Why this should make any difference to anyone, I do not know, but apparently it does. So somebody put out there, I've been married 3 times. Today, I was telling my very good friend, would have been my 35th wedding anniversary for my late husband. I've been married once. And I'm lucky to have a lovely guy in my life. But just to give you a sense about how silly this nonsense is. And not that you need to defend my marriage. But to talk about, before any candidate tells you, this is what you tell people, before they tell you what they're going to do, ask them what they have already done.
Yes.
You got to have a proven track record. They can't answer that question. If they could answer that question, they wouldn't be running on how many times I've been married. It's so weird. So that's what we need. So you're going to get a pick. So we're 50 days, and here's the last thing. If you've been nervous, I have been, and we've been a little quiet except for all the people in this hot room, because we're not spending money on stuff. We did spend money, I promise. If you looked at my report, you were probably aghast. We spent a lot of your money. And now we're ready to use that in a productive, strategic, effective way. And it starts this week, so you'll see that. Signs, information on the radio, direct mail, TV, radio, all the stuff that you've been waiting for. And it is true. We've been hanging in because we know, I got 2 minutes, we know I'm going to the airport to Washington, D.C. because I don't trust him. All right. Because we know that Pierce is hard. All right, I beat him. It's the #1 Democratic pickup in the country. Why is that? And why am I being supported by Emily's List and by folks, individuals? The DGA, which is the Democratic Governors Association, won't get involved in a primary. But if you look at the relationship that we have, it's because this candidate, with your support, has been identified as the strongest Democratic pickup against a Republican in a general and against a current Republican administration. So let's So we got to be ready. We got to have resources. And if we don't have a strong volunteer army, it will be hard because the Koch brothers are already here. And they're in Mora, and they're in Raton, and they're in Brometoville, and they're in Espanola, and they're in Deming, and they're in Hobbs, and they're in Carlsbad, and they're in Las Cruces. And they're working, and they have millions of dollars, and they're going to fund Pierce. So let's win this election, let's win it big, and let's be ready to work hard and fight to regain the kind of state that we believe in, where every child gets a fair shake, where everybody gets a great job, where our environment is protected, where we respect and love one another, where we work together to create our own healthcare system, where we lead not just the country but the world in renewable energy, where we harness all of the opportunities that we have, and we show the rest of the country what New Mexico is really made of.
Here, here.
Boss you around. God knows she bosses me around. All right, Nora. What's up?
Boss away.
Hi, guys.
You want to get up here? Do it.
Sure. Okay. Can we just give one more round of applause? I was born and raised here in Albuquerque. I grew up 6 blocks from here, actually. And I'm just so proud to be working for Michelle and working on this campaign. I want to live in New Mexico for my whole life, and it needs to, we have so much better potential that we can make of it, and I want to be here for that, and that's why I'm working on this campaign. But we can't do it without you guys. And we have some awesome volunteers who are already killing it with us. We have my girl Mary, who comes in every week, multiple times a week to make calls. We got Jay back there, who's in here 4 times a week making calls and canvassing. We have John, who comes in and makes calls. I'm not purposely missing anyone, I promise. We have so many people who are doing great work already, and I'm so grateful. But we need all of you to come in and keep doing more with us. We can make calls, we can send people mail, we knock on doors, we can enter the data. I know it's not the most glamorous job in the world, but Michelle can't get elected governor without it. It's the groundwork that makes it happen, right? It's not the glamorous thing, but that's what really brings it home in the end. And we cannot do it without you guys. There is only one of me and many of you guys. So please come see me or anyone with a clipboard. Anybody with a clipboard, raise it up. Go talk to us. We'll get you signed up for a shift. It's not as scary as it seems talking to people, I promise. Everyone is really nice and really supportive of Michelle, so we get great feedback, and we just really need your help. Yes, we're leading the polls, but we cannot take anything for granted, right? We've seen how that works, and we need to put in the work and earn it, and come in with a really strong game and organization for the general and beat Pierce and turn New Mexico blue. So. Before you leave, please. And I'm so glad you guys are all here out tonight. Thank you so much.